Hello Die Rollers and welcome to another episode of Die Rolling. I'm the ever excitable Adam and today I'm going to begin a journey into folklore itself. We're playing Folklore The Affliction, and by we, I mean, of course mean myself and I. I'm going to be playing a 3-character solo run of Folklore The Affliction. I have had this game for a while. I've enjoyed it for a long time. And but I'll be honest, I've yet to actually get past the very first story. So I thought, what better way to encourage me to play a game that I really like and want to play more of than filming it for your viewing pleasure. Now, there's been a couple of expansions out for Folklore. I got this when it first came out in the first print run. So if you get a box version of this now, you get standees in there, which honestly are really good standees. And if I'm honest, I probably would prefer to play this with standees these days. This is the kind of guy I am now, because you have to paint the miniatures. Or at least I feel like I have to. So anyway, I haven't got any standees with these. This is all miniatures that I've had to paint. So you can get the miniatures for this game, but you have to buy an additional miniatures box, which is absolutely amazing. It's got so many miniatures in there. And these things could definitely double for anything you want to do for D&D if you use things like... if you use kind of the miniatures from games for D&D sessions, they're great for that. So I'm really excited about this. As I already said, I'll be using the new initiative board, which comes in the last expansion, the Fall of the Dark Spire, or latest expansion. I don't know if it's the last one, but essentially this initiative tracker should change how the combat works in this game. I won't be using the world events for this first one. I've essentially got everything you can get for this game, but I won't be using the world events for this very first story. I will probably do that on my next story, my next chapter, or the next story part. I don't know. We shall see. But essentially, world events kind of affects the entire game. And I just thought for the very first story, I'm just going to go in and hopefully just complete it without having to worry about additional penalties or negatives. Also, we have new town event cards which will come into play. So when we go to a town, we go and investigate, or when we go as a group to particular locations, and then from those locations, once we've done what we're doing there, we're going to be drawing a story event card, and that can be good, it can be bad, depending on the cards you get, really. And depending on where we go in the town, it could be through the thoroughfare, the more populated area, or the back alleys, which I imagine are going to be worse. What else do I need to say? So I chose 3 characters that people have suggested. So the Exorcist is one character everyone always says you should have. He's essentially a healer character. I have also brought the Slayer and the Butcher. Whether they are any good, I don't know. I did ask questions, but no one really came back apart from the Exorcist. So I've just chosen 2 characters, which I thought, well, I've not really played with these characters, so let's give them a go and see how they work out. So in this initial video, we're just going to be covering that very first story. And I will probably do a little video just after this intro to go through the different characters we're playing with, to give you an introduction to those guys, so you know who we're going to be playing with, because you're going to be getting quite familiar with these characters over the course of Story Journal 1, which has multiple stories in, and hopefully I'm not going to get them killed too quickly. When you do die in this game, you do come back as a ghost, but you can also be completely dispelled, and that is the end of that character. So there is permanent death in this, but hopefully we're not going to get to that. I'm hoping we'll get through story 1 at least without anybody being reduced to 0 health. We're going to be using rumours, we're going to be using recipes, but no world events, just for this very first story. So I'm going to get to the table. It's going to probably take around an hour, maybe, we'll see, just to get through this first story. And that's because I'm filming this and setting shots up and things like that, but we shall see. Maybe it's a lot shorter once I edit this. You can tell me at the end. So join me at the table for a game of Folklore The Affliction. So this is Eddie the Exorcist, or Brother Edward as he likes to be called, but everyone's going to call him Eddie the Exorcist because why not? Eddie begins with the Aspergillium, which I will be pronouncing incorrectly the entire playthrough. He has got +5 might with this, ignores ethereal absorption, and holy keyword is required. He's got that. Is one-handed. Is going to do d4 damage on there, plus his damage bonus when I remember. So that will be pretty good. And it's also fillable, so you got to put some water in there tonight, some holy water, just to really stick it to the enemies there. He's also going to be starting off with some holy water. This thing here. Fill for +2 damage for 4 uses. thrown for 1d4 damage. He's got some bandages, which he can recover for Vita with. And let's have a look. So he begins with an heirloom as well. So his heirloom is a book of prayers, +1 faith, pass faith 8 at the start of a story to receive a prayer. And I rolled before this game and I got I passed it. So you're just going to have to believe me that I did that because it's off camera. So he's got the boundless faith prayer. Your beliefs inspire those around you. Each character may choose one of the following stages: blessed, faithful, favored, or fortified. And he also has the healing surge. The power of your faith extends to all in need. All characters recover 2d4 Vita or 1d6 ghost points. I'm going to have to try to use this at some point, I'm sure. Now, his innate abilities. He has Blessing of the Cross. Inflict 1d6 damage to any one demonic, spirit, or undead creature. Going to cost 1 power point. You can do it once per round, and it's ranged. And we've got the Purification, restore 4 Vita to yourself or an adjacent ally, usable during a skirmish. Infinite uses, it costs 1, and you can play that at any point. Now, every character has a particular path they're going to go down. So the Exorcist is a priest of sound mind and body, whose training and purpose are to seek out those evil forces and beings that wreak havoc on our world. He's a true spiritual warrior, armed and ready to go head-to-head against those things that have crept up from the cracks of hell to torment mankind. And I could choose a Sanctifier or a Banisher. I've gone for a Sanctifier because I want him to be more of a healing kind of character. Your mission is to cleanse the world of evil and bring it back towards the light. As a Sanctifier, you use your gifts to seek out that which has become tainted and transform it back to its proper form. You may not sacrifice companions in order to avoid an attack or taking damage. Instead, you receive +2 max Vita for every companion you have. You may choose to consume holy water to heal 1d6 Vita to you or your allies, divided as you choose. That is Brother Edward, the Exorcist. One last thing I forgot to mention about the Exorcist is he has got the Most Holy. Your Holy Spirit resists corruption that would normally afflict lesser men. You are never affected by bloodlust. On to Duffy the Slayer. So Duffy the Slayer, she has got extermination. You have seen many die at the hands of evil and have learned their weaknesses. Gain +5 might against undead foes. So her heirloom, or heirloom as people like to say, was a law book. She starts with an ability point, which I spent straight away to give her an additional ability. So let's go through her abilities. She has a reburial. Gain an extra attack against undead foes during the first round of combat. That's going to cost you 2 power points to use. Into the Heart. If you have a wooden stake in your possession, you hurl it at a foe for 2d6 damage. Range 3. Discard the stake after use. You can do this once per fight. Costs 1 power point to do that. She's attacking with a cutlass, which is a d4 one-handed weapon. It's arcing, so you can attack multiple people at one time, if I remember that. And she's got a damage bonus of +2, if I remember that as well. She also has the punishment ability, which I bought. You land a punishing blow against your foe, dealing 1d6 damage. If the result was 6, punch again to cause an additional 1d6 damage. Repeat until the result isn't 6. Once per round, costs 2 to do it. The Slayer is a hardened warrior and an inspiration to her allies. She's the sole survivor of a massacre which left everyone she cared about dead at the hands of an undead horde. Her troubled youth as an orphan has strengthened her body and her faith. She has vowed to hunt down the vile and the undead and destroy those who took her loved ones from her. I could go for an acrobat or a soldier. I went for a soldier. She's trained in the art of war, may choose +3 might or +3 defense at the start of any combat. The bonus ends when the combat is over, if I remember. And when entering a forest from the world map, she may pass Ecology 5 to receive a wooden stake token once per chapter. Finally, we're on to Billy Butcher. His special ability is you have strengthened your body during years of hard work at his shop. You can never become fractured. He starts off with a large cleaver. It may be thrown as an extra attack. So it's a d4 +1 damage plus the 2 damage he's got on his board when I remember. His heirloom, he's got an Onyx Bracelet, exhaust to reroll an unsuccessful attack. Here's the Skinned Alive ability. You know the perfect way to cut your enemy after a successful melee attack. Inflict an additional 2d4 damage and cause a razor 1. 3, that's 3 power points to do that. That's pretty powerful. And then we got Fillet. After an nature foe is killed, regain 4 Vita once per fight, and it's going to cost us 1 power point to use. The Butcher is a local shop owner from one of the towns of Kreml. He has grown angry watching the plague of foul creatures oppressing his homeland, so has taken up the cleaver. His work implement So, to use against the forces of evil. His profession has made him strong and able to withstand as much punishment as he can deal out. Now I could choose a townsman or a merchant. I went for a merchant. Merchant is a veteran at buying and selling, giving him the following benefits. He may sell items he owns anytime he's interacting with other non-enemy mortals in stories without having to visit the market. He receives 10% less coins when doing this. He knows a good bargain when he sees one. Whenever he buys or sells an item, he may roll speech 7 to add or subtract 1 coin to the transaction. He may buy an item for 80% the listed value once per story, and he may visit 1 extra location service during each town visit. That last one isn't going to really count for us in this because everyone can use as many services as they like with the new town event rules. So that last one's kind of nerfed. And that is my team. Everything changes. You have travelled far, entering a territory of mountains and hills, forests and ancient paths. As you near your destination, an oppressive veil descends as the sky becomes dim. The stagecoach you hired approaches an old stone building with a belfry and enormous arched wooden front doors, whose scrollwork tells tales of horror and redemption. The coach rolls to a stop, and you exit to stand before the Church of the Crossroads. The church is an age-old monument and gateway to this ancient mountainous territory. As you near the wooden doors to head inside, you hear the sound of a struggle from within. Entering the church, you see an old curator cowering at the hands of highwaymen. The highwaymen are ragged and filthy, with the dangerous edge of the desperate. They demand food and valuables. Story, skill check, speech 8, any one character. So we can convince the highwaymen to leave peacefully. Now, out of my characters, I have the exorcist, who has got a speech of 1. So I'm going to +1 to my roll here. Let's see if we manage to do this. So I need a 7 or more. And I got a 6. Skirmish with the highwaymen. After the skirmish, the assailants break and run. So we have entered into combat with some highwaymen. The first thing we need to do is decide how many highwaymen are there. So we have 5. So they have a +5 might at the moment. So the highwayman has the +5 might, because we're currently at this point here. They have a skirmish power, lose 1d4 Vita. If the total attack roll of the highwayman is 85 plus, they cause +2 damage. So I have to decide whether I'm going to attack or defend. So we're going to defend with our exorcist, but the other 2 are going to attack. The creature now attacks, and we have to compare it to each character's defense. So here's the initial roll. So we got a 98, which means it hits everybody. So it's 1d4 Vita, and an additional +2 damage. So it's d4 +2. So this is for the exorcist. So he got 5 damage, 6 damage for the slayer, and 6 damage for the butcher. Okay, so let's go for our first attack. So we got the exorcist attacking. He's got a -10 to his might. We got a 70, so that is a 60, which beats the defense of 42. So it's 60 plus our might bonus of 4. So 64 beats 42. So we do a damage. So reduce this down to 4 now. Slayer comes in. 85. And the Witcher comes in. 23, which isn't enough. So the Butcher misses. Okay, this time around we're going to all out defend because the highwaymen were actually pretty tough. So let's defend all across the board. The highwayman is coming in for a first attack. Gets 58, which is enough to beat everybody's defenses. So 1d4 damage each. So for the exorcist, 4 damage. The slayer, 2 damage. And the butcher, 4 damage. Okay, then my guys are attacking. They have -10 to their might rolls. So 87 for the exorcist. So that is 77, which is enough. 28. So 18 is not enough from the slayer, and then the butcher. Whoop, and 18 from the butcher. So another miss. Here we go for the next round of combat. Everyone is still defending. The highwayman rolls and it gets a 37. So that's not enough to get through anybody's defenses, which is pretty good. So the exorcist goes first. 72. So it's 62, which is enough to do additional damage. Followed by the slayer, who got 1. Followed by the butcher, who got 72, which is enough to defeat the highwaymen. Okay, so now I'm going to search their bodies. I get 4 coins for defeating them, and I now have to search. So I'm essentially wanting a 10. Exorcist gets a 3. You get a 1 from the slayer, and a 7 from the butcher. The curator thanks you for driving the brigands away and for saving the church from being burglarized. He explains that this area has begun to attract an unsavory element, but that there are calamities far worse to the north. He says, the priest received this a few days ago. He left immediately to investigate. Without warning, he lifts a covering from a table, revealing a bloody mass of fur and flesh. Story skill check, nerve 4. All characters. Resist the urge to become sick. So let's start with the exorcist. 8. They pass. The slayer fails. And the butcher pass. So the exorcist and the butcher steady themselves against the revolting sight that becomes center and recover 1 vita. The slayer, however, her stomach lurches at the sight and smell of the dead creature. You realize that this is not the corpse of some ordinary animal. Unable to contain yourself, you throw up what is left of your last meal and lose 2 vita. After recovering from the shock of such a disgusting sight, you examine it more closely. It seems unnatural. The curator explains, wolves have been seen devouring people in the north. A group of Osterlink hunters tracked this one down, but no matter how many arrows and spear tips pierced its flesh, it would not stop moving. They brought it to the alchemist first, believing it was bewitched by some evil curse. Its form shifted and changed periodically in startling phases. It only stopped after that stone was removed from its stomach. He points to a small pebble encased in glass on a pedestal near the table. Neither the priest nor alchemist know what it is, but they fear it is related to the source of the trouble in the north. Go to Osterlink to seek out the missing priest and inquire of the people where they found this creature. It is of dire importance that you find the wolf beast's lair. Here are a few coins to help you with your journey. You are welcome to rummage through our cellar and see if you find something useful to take with you. Return with news when you have found our priest. So we each get a coin from the curator, and we draw 2 item cards to find out what we have discovered in the church's cellar. It's up to us to decide which character receive the items, and if we can't decide, we use our dice to roll off. Now, we're picking up an item, and we're using the advanced item categories by Gurnican off Board Game Geek. This was suggested in the Folklore The Affliction community board game group that you should use this if you are wanting to do a decent market phase. So anytime we have to pick up an item, we have to roll a dice. So we're going to roll 2 dice. So the first item we find is, we can choose which deck we get this out of. The second deck is going to be 7, and 7 is something from the objects deck. So we are going to grab something out of the enhancement deck to begin with. And we find a Talisman of Vim, +3 to max Vita. This Vita is lost if the talisman is removed or lost. So we have the Talisman of Vim. And then we're going to grab something from the protective deck next. And we find some leather boots, +1 stride on world map, absorption 1 from snares. So we have something for Vita and something for feet. Okay, so I'm going to give the Talisman of Vim to Eddie the Exorcist because that will increase his Vita. And we're going to give the leather boots to the Slayer. Outside, you board the waiting stagecoach, which hastens your journey to the village of Osterlink. Travel to Osterlink. All characters gain +1 stride on their journey due to the stagecoach. Leadership should now switch to character 2 since you're transitioning from narrative to the world map. Pass the leader token to them with the day side showing. When character 2 passes the token to the next character, they flip it to the night side. So, the Exorcist was our lead. So, the Slayer is now with this token. They're now the leader. So, our Slayer has a stride of 5 at the moment, when we have a +1 because we are using a stagecoach. Now, it's daytime. We could just move over onto this area here, off-road. Or we could move 6 spaces around this way. It's normally safer going on the road. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are there. Now we have to pick a road event. And we have found Here Kitty Kitty. Walking out of the woods, the ginger tabby looked at us intently, expecting us to follow. Could we even refuse? Leader, which is the Slayer, must pass Ecology 6 to charm the cat to join the group. We got a 10. So we succeed. Gain the Abyssal Cat Companion. You may move an additional 3 spaces down the road, which will get us to Waylin Point. Well, just outside Waylin Point. So we have found the Abyssal Cat. +2 ghost points. You cannot be cursed. And he's now one of our allies. I'm going to hand this ally over to our Exorcist because they have a special ability. They receive +2 max Vita for every companion they have. And now we move 3 spaces. That's the end of the first day. So now we move over into night, as the Butcher is now the leader. And on their turn, they're simply going to move into Waylin Point. So, in the base game of Folklore, you'd normally have a specific amount of visits that you could do in a town. So you'd go to Waylin Point, for instance, and you could do 2 services per visit. However, with the new introduction of the Fall of the Dark Spiral rules, we can go to as many locations as we like. However, there is a chance we're going to have to pull something from this town event deck, which could be good or could be bad. So we're going to go to the inn first. So at the inn, we have the option to drink, hire militia, gamble, or sleep. And I want to go here, not because anything on here, but because I want to find a rumour. We're going to start off, though, with the Butcher. The Butcher is going to do some gambling. So they're going to put their 5 coins into the pot here and gamble it away. So we have to roll a d10. And we want to get an 8 or a 0. We got 9, so 8 to 0, 0 being 10, so we managed to double our money. So we got 10 coins now. So that paid off well for the Butcher there. And then the Slayer is going to find a rumour. So we have found the following rumour. The town of Osterlink is seeking supplies from the forest regions of Kreml. Can you gather the herbs and natural ingredients that are desperately needed? While adventuring, stop at the following locations and complete the instructions on the back of this card. Elk Pines and Raminov's Wood. Once you successfully complete the requirements, return to the town, you receive this rumour for your reward. So we've got to go to Raminov's Woods, which are at the very top there, and Elk Pines, which are just down there. And we can get the rewards, which will be 15 coins and 30 lore. So now we've done that, we have to roll a d10. If we get a 9 or a 10, then we're going to have an event. We got a 3, so we're fine. We're going to push on then to the physician. So at the physicians, we can spend money to gain health back. So we're essentially going to spend 5 gold for the Exorcist to increase his health up. So the Exorcist is now on 24 Vita, just 1 off of his max now. 5 coins for our Slayer. The Slayer is on 18 health now. And the Butcher is going to spend 5 coins for Stitches. So he's on 19. He's got 5 coins left. Now we have to roll a d10. On a 7, 8, 9 or 10, then an event is going to happen. We've got a 6. Now, one frustrating thing I didn't think about was we could have used the Exorcist's Blessed Hands. If he passed a Faith 8 while visiting the physician to bless his hands, all stitches would have done a +1 for the visit. I should have thought about that. Never mind. So that is going to be the end of our town. It's now the Exorcist's turn. And they're going to speed on. So they have a current speed of 5 because we've still got the stagecoach. And a road event. And it's daytime, so wanted. We were approached by a group of watchmen who were looking for the lawless. If any character is wanted, the group must skirmish with watchmen. Otherwise, they thank you for your cooperation and the leader gains a boon. So we get a boon. Boon! Which is pretty nice. Happy with a boon? Boons are positive effects that last for a while. And we got a reroll of failed skill checks, so he has that boon now. It's now nighttime and our fearless Slayer's turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're all the way over here now. And we have a road night event. Hunters. 2 hunters emerged from the countryside, dragging deer carcasses. They needed help getting their kills back to town. The group may take them as mission companions. Each fills a companion slot and bring them to a town to gain 15 coins each. So we can do that. So we've got, there's 3 of these guys, I guess. Oh, 2 hunters. So we're going to get 30 coins. There's enough spaces between our group to do that. So that works out well. And we now go to the day, and it is the butcher's turn. And we've got speed of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's not quite in there yet. So we draw a road event. And we have an assault. A group of highwaymen were assaulting several defenseless villages. Any one character must pass speech 6 to convince the bandits to leave and become respected. Otherwise, the group must skirmish with highwaymen. Now, our exorcist is the only one who actually has anything in speech. So he's got a speech of +1. So we need 5 or more. 7. So we managed to talk them out of this, and we become respected. So this is the respected token. It gives us +1 speech and +1 trickery. Now we're passing on to the night phase for the Exorcist. And the Exorcist moves into Yorotrusk. Now, because we've come to town, we get to have 15 coins each. So that's 30 coins. Well, no, 15 coins. Now, I'm not sure. It says 15 coins each. So I think 15 coins per character. So we all have 15 coins apart from our butcher, who has got 20 coins. So we are in Yorotrusk, and we're going to go to the market. Now, as we're going to the market, we're going to be using the advanced item categories, and we have to choose where we're going. So we can go to the weaponsmith, the armorsmith, the artisan, the bookseller, the general store, or the marketplace. We're going to go to the weaponsmith, actually. So rolling a D3 -1. So that is 3 -1 is 2, so we're drawing 2 cards from the weapon deck. So the first item is a hand cannon. 40 coins, ooh. The second item is a pitchfork, 35 coins. So the hand cannon has 3 ammo to it. Foes adjacent to a target are spooked 5 on a successful hit. The pitchfork has a range of 2. It's got a decent damage as well, but it's two-handed. So I think we're going to get our money together to get a hand cannon. So the butcher's spending 20 of his coins. The slayer is spending 10. And Eddie the exorcist is spending 10 as well. So we're going to give the hand cannon to the butcher as he put the most money into it. Now we have to roll to see if we get a event. And as we're in Yorotrusk, is actually an 8 or more. And we got a 10. So let's see what we got. Now we were going through the thoroughfare because we went to the market. So we have flower and a smile. A woman selling flowers offered us a bouquet. Its fragrance seemed unearthly and haunting. A random character must pass occult 4. So I'm going to roll a D6. On a 1 to 2, it is Eddie the Exorcist. On a 3 to 4, it's Duffy the Slayer. And at 5 to 6, it's the Butcher, Billy the Butcher. So it's the Slayer, and she has got to pass a occult 4 test. Now she's already got a 1 for her occult, so she just needs 3 or more. And she got a 7, so she succeeds. The scent is heavenly, become blessed. So for blessed, you get +5 might and absorption +1. Well, that was a nice town event. More of those, please. And then we're going to end our stay in town. And it's now daytime, and the Slayer is in charge. So we've got a speed of 6 still. So the Slayer is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Speeding down here to Osterlink. And we get a day road event. We came upon an old wise man who had become a master of many arts in his long years. He taught me a bit of ancient lore. The leader gains 1 ability point. If a character receives this card more than once in their life, immediately discard it and draw again. So that's great. We got an ability point. If we get back to the Church of the Crossroads where we began, we can basically get an additional ability. It's now nighttime, and the Billy the Butcher is getting us across here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not quite in there yet. We have an evening road event. And we have hunger. Those among us afflicted with vampire bloodlust begin to feel hunger overtake them. Luckily, no one has been attacked by a vampire, so we're currently okay. We don't have to worry about this particular thing. Moves over to the daytime, and it's Eddie the Exorcist's turn, so he drags us into Osterlink. Now, we don't get to do a town event. We go straight to the next part of the story. In Osterlink, the streets are deserted with the exception of an occasional townsperson hurrying home or a drunk vagabond asleep in the alley. The few villagers you see scurrying on their way pause only to regard you with cautious stares. You raise your arm and call out a friendly greeting, time and again with only quickly averted eyes as a response. It does not take much to sense that something is wrong. You catch sight of a street urchin eyeing you from a side alley. Unlike the rest, it seems her curiosity is winning over her caution. You wave her over, and she hesitantly approaches. When you ask her about the town and why everyone seems afraid, she looks nervously and says, "Many people are worried because of the strange things that are happening. It is worse in the countryside, and a lot of the farm folk have come into town. The inn is completely sold out." You ask the girl what she knows about wolves and the priest. For a moment she feigns ignorance, but after a bribe of food, she tells you about the many recent wolf sightings. She warns that some have claimed that the wolves seem to change in the moonlight. With a full mouth, the urchin says she knows nothing of a visiting priest, but that you might be able to find out more answers at the inn. Now we get to choose our path. We can give the urchin some spare change. One character may give the street urchin a coin. If you have one, the character to do so must read a story, or if we're uncharitable, we just go to the next part. So we've got some money. I think the Slayer is going to give one of her coins. So she's chucking a coin at the urchin. So story moment 25. As thanks, you toss a coin to the filthy child, who catches it mid-air and makes the shiny disappear quickly as a blink. She turns to go, but then pauses to say, "I know one more thing. The wolves like to hide in tall grass, ambushing their prey. Be careful." We gain the blue story marker. So the Slayer, who gave the coin, now has the blue story marker. True to the urchin's words, the inn is bursting with people in heated conversation. Most of the patrons look to be farmers, with the occasional merchant in the crowd. The room goes quiet as you enter, and you sense that you are not welcome. The innkeeper speaks. "What's your business here?" You tell the crowd that you are looking for information, specifically about the missing priest and strange wolves that have been giving the town trouble. The innkeeper growls. "We don't know anything about a priest. We can take care of a few wolves without any help from the likes of you." His words are fierce, but you notice several of the patrons look uncertain. Ignoring the others' uncertainty, he continues. "We have no rooms here. You can have a drink, but afterwards, I suggest you move on." Trickery 7, a random character. So we got 4, which is the Slayer. Oh, we got a 7. Great. So, as you stick around, attempting to gather any information from the crowd, it is apparent that not everyone is happy with you being there. A bottle flies through the air, right at you. You deftly dodge the incoming projectile. The bottle shatters against the wall behind you. Luck seems to be with you. Gain +1 on your next search roll. The assault by the crowd has upset you. They're gaining confidence having made the first move. They're now getting ready for a good old-fashioned bar fight. If you decide to calm down the crowd to prevent somebody from getting hurt, we read one thing. Or if we decide to teach the peasants a lesson, we read something else. We're a nice group, so we're going to do calm them down. Choose a character to make a speech 8 check. Now, we're of course going to be choosing our exorcist because they're currently respected. They have a +1 to their speech. So their speech is currently 2. And we got a 10, which is a natural success. You calm the inn patrons and become respected. I already am. The tension leaves as quickly as it escalated. These villagers are scared. It explains their short fuse, but what is more surprising is how defeated they seem once they've calmed down. It's as if they believe no amount of fighting will help. After peace is restored, a farmer approaches you nervously and says, "Your priest passed through my land inquiring about the way to Nurians Hollow. I told him of a shortcut I know. A day later, crazed wolves came down out of those hills, devouring my livestock and attacking my family. We ran here to Osterlink to find help, but everyone's too scared to leave town. If you agree to destroy those wolves, I'll tell ye of a shortcut." Can we spare the time to help? We can decide we cannot spare the time to help him, or we could decide to help the farmer with his troubles. We're going to try and help the farmer because we're nice people. You realise how much courage that it took for this man to approach and ask for help. He was obviously nervous, but overcame his fear. It shouldn't take too much time to deal with a few wolves, and the farmer promised to tell you of a shortcut, which will hopefully make up for time lost. The farmer leads you out of town and points in the direction of the fields. "There's my land. I ask you kindly to destroy those wolves." It is dusk when you reach the farm. The moon hides itself behind a thick layer of clouds, but the stars are bright, allowing you to see well enough. The quiet atmosphere changes as you hear soft growls. Rabid wolves emerge from their hiding places among the tall grass, sniffing the air, their eyes almost seeming to glow. Primary goals: defeat the rabid wolves. Now, because the Slayer learned about these wolves, she gets a +5 might for this combat. Now, we're playing with the advanced combat from the new Fall of the Dark Spire. So we've got this initiative track over here, which you can see 1's the worst, 10 is the best. So I'm going to walk you through what you do for this initiative phase. Now, I got the first edition of Folklore, so that means I didn't have any standees, and this game now comes with standees, and they say on the initiative board you should use the ghost standees for your characters, but I don't have any, so I'm just going to be using the ghost miniatures to represent my characters and where they are. So each character rolls a d10 and applies any modifiers from the story, abilities, items, etc. They mark their position on the initiative board with their ghost standees. So let's give it a go. So to begin with, we're going to have our exorcist. Got a 10, whoa! So he's going right at the top there. The Slayer, got a 4. And we get a 7 for our Butcher. It's worth noting that leadership has changed to the Slayer. Now there are 3 foes in this, so I have to roll a d10 for each of the foes. 1 for our orange wolf, 1 for our yellow wolf, and 3 for our red wolf. So now I have to roll a d10 and place an initiative card. So 9. And we have +1 strike and +1 defense if you are in 9. Now I have to draw a foe tactic card and assign it to the initiative board by rolling a d10 and placing a foe flag in the row matching the dice roll. So we've got a 7. The foe tactic is surprise, immediately move and attack in the first round of being in this initiative slot, if possible. This does not count as your turn. Melee, target character with lowest Vita with +2 stride. Ranged, target character with the most PP. Gain 8 lore and remove 1 negative status if you manage to get them when at that particular bit, and we were on 7, weren't we? Okay, so the good news is I get to activate before any of the wolves. And if we have a quick look at the wolves statistics, so there's 3 characters in this, so they've got 17 health. We're at Dusk still, so it's -5 to their might. And this is what they're rolling here. So if they get a 1 to 4, they do a takedown. A 5 to 7, they do a hamstring. 8 to 0, vicious bite and become sickened. If the vicious bite attack has a power dice of 10, the chance to become sickened changes to 8. Oof. So we get 10 more for each one of these guys we kill and 2 points for each one. And we need to take these guys out fairly sharpish. You'll also notice on the board we have got a scarecrow. We can do a skill check over there to try and do something. There's also a clue over by the well. So the exorcist goes first. And the exorcist, what can they do? So they've got a couple of prayers they could do. They can restore Vita to adjacent characters. They can also inflict 1d6 damage on demonic, spiritual, or undead creatures, but no one is in that boat here. So we're going to use our Aspilagulum. It's a +5 might, so we've got a might of 9, and we've got to get close to do this. So he's got a stride of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he's up close up against this wolf. The wolf is not very happy about this. Now we've got to add 9 to this. We have to get over 41. So 82. So we do that, and we're going to do D4 damage. 2 damage to wolf number 1. This is the yellow wolf. So he is down to 15 hit points. There's nothing else I really want to do with that. So it's the butcher's turn. The butcher's not very happy because he is a butcher and just wants to kill everyone. So the butcher, he's got a stride of 4, so he's going straight up to this one as well. Straight up there. He's got a might of 5. So 39 or more. So we got 98. Oh, that was great. So we managed to hit it. It's 1d4 plus 1. So it's 4 plus 1 plus his damage, which is an additional 2. So it's 7 damage. So actually he's down there. So 8 points now. And I think that's enough. We don't need to go all out on that. So it's up to our Slayer next. So our Slayer's going on to... Well, the Slayer's over there. They can go up to 5 spaces, can't they? So... And she's currently got 15 might in this battle. So she's coming for our red wolf there. So she's got a 92 on that. So she hits it. She's doing 4 plus 1 plus 2, so 7 down. So it's 2, 3, 4, 5 damage on that. So that's down to 12 hit points. She's going to spend a power point to use her punishment ability. You land a punishing blow against your foe, dealing 1d6 damage. That's going to cost me 2 power to perform that. We got a 6, so we get a roll again, which is one of the great things with this. So if you get a 6, you punch again, causing an additional d6. Oh, so that's 12, 13, 14 points of damage, which is enough to kill this creature. This guy's gone. Our red wolf is out of it. I can't believe we actually killed that thing in one go. That's ridiculous. Okay, so it's now the orange wolf's go. So the orange wolf who's up here, he's going to target someone. So this wolf is going to move 2 spaces over here. And then he's going to attack. He got a 42, which is enough to get over the exorcist's piddly defense. So we now roll a d10 to find out what he's going to be up to. Oh, that's a D. There we go. So an 8. So this is a vicious bite. Your flesh is torn by a mouth foaming with blood and pus. Lose 4 Vita, become sickened 4. So we have to roll a d10 and hopefully get over 4. We've got 8, so we're not sickened. But we do take 4 damage. So we're now down to 20 health for the exorcist. Next, our yellow wolf is going to attack. We have to decide who they're going to attack. So there's 2 characters, roll a d4, and we see which way it's going. So it's a 2, so it's going to go against character 1, which is this guy, the Exorcist. I only got 97, so that's enough. And what attack is it doing? Number 2. So a number 2 is a takedown. The wolf leaps at you and swings its clawed paw. Lose 3 Vita and get pushed 1. So the Exorcist is pushed back a single space and takes 3 damage. So they're now on 17 health. Right, so we're on to round 2 of combat now. And the Exorcist goes first. We're going to move the Exorcist back. He is going to attack from where he is. He's got 9 might. So 46 plus 9, so that's 55. So he gets over that 41 defense. No problem whatsoever. And we're going to be doing 1 damage plus his damage bonus of 1. So 3 damage to that creature. And that one is the orange wolf. Okay, and then he's also going to use his purification. So restore 4 Vita to yourself or an adjacent ally usable during a skirmish. We're not in a skirmish, we're going to do this anyway. So it's going to cost us 1 power point to do this. And he gets 4 Vita back. So he's on 21. Okay, next is the Butcher. The Butcher is going to chop at the yellow wolf. We're going to try and kill him off. And we got a 5. So we're going to use his Onyx Bracelet to reroll an unsuccessful attack. 91, that'll do it, guys. So we get through there. It's a d4 plus 1. So it's 5 plus 2 because of his damage bonus. So that's 7 damage. He's on 8 at the moment, so he's down to 1 hit point. So we're going to just leave them there. It's now the Slayer's turn. The Slayer is she's going to go up here and investigate this. Let's see what this is. So investigate the Scarecrow map feature, only available during combat. This is a map-based skill check. Pick up the red die from the board and roll it for the result. So we need ecology of 5. She hasn't got anything to help her with ecology. 9. You restore the Scarecrow to its rightful place. Earn a boon. Mind if I do? And my boon is receive an extra attack. So that Scarecrow is essentially down, and we've righted it up this way. So she's moved. She can't really do anything else this turn. So that's the end of her go. The orange wolf goes next. And we have to roll a d4 to see which way it's going. 1, 2 is the Exorcist. 3, so it's going for the Butcher. 38. It's got a -5 to its might. So it's 33, and his defense is 36, so it misses. The next wolf goes to 40. Oh, sorry, who's it attacking? That's attacking the Butcher as well. It's got -5. It's 41, which is enough to get over the defense. So let's see what it is attempting to do to the Butcher. Number 3. So this is a takedown. So it leaps. We lose 3 Vita, and the Butcher is pushed away. So the Butcher is on 16 hit points. And we're on to the next phase of combat. So the Exorcist, he's going to attack with his Aspilagum again. And 24, that's not going to do anything. It's now the Butcher's turn, so the Butcher's going to come up. We're going to try and take out that yellow wolf. So 41 plus his might of 5, so that's 46, enough to get over the defense. And we deal 1d4 plus 3 damage. So 6 damage, that's enough to kill the yellow wolf. So it's just the orange wolf left. The Slayer's turn now. So the Slayer's going to go and check out this well. Just running around, just chilling out. Okay, so I perform a search roll. She gets a +1 to her next search roll. So that's a 2. You lose 1d4 to a snare damage. Now she's got absorption of 1 from a snare, so she ignores one of these. So she takes 3 damage from a snare that was in the well. She's down to 15 hit points. Orange Wolf attacking next. Who's it going to attack? So it's going for the Butcher. And it got an 8. So we don't need to worry about that. The Exorcist is up next. He got a 1, which is a terrible, terrible roll. And that actually does something. So essentially his Aspergillum is now broken. He's got to get a tinker in town to fix this, which is not good. The Butcher's not very happy about that. He's going to attack next. So he got 77, which is enough to do damage. We're adding 3 to this. So 6 damage on the wolf. So on 8 hit points. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can't quite get there in time. So she's going to use her Into the Heart, her Slayer ability. She has a wooden stake. If you have a wooden stake in your possession, you hurl it at a foe for 2d6 damage, range of 3, so she can do it. So that's 10 damage to it, which is enough to kill this wolf. So we get a total of 6 coins and 30 lore. We also get to do a search, so we're going to have a search for, so this is for the Exorcist, the Slayer, and the Butcher. Nothing. After the fight. After the walls are dealt with, the farmer tells you, beyond is a path that will take you to an old burial ground. The mausoleum there houses a long-forgotten entrance into the caves of Nurians Hollow. That is where the priest went. He agrees to show you his shortcut and offers to join you, but doesn't tell you where his accent's from. The leader gains the farmer companion. So, the Slayer now has a farmer assisting her. And here he is, +1 ecology and +1 max vita. The path heads into an old burial ground. You see the mausoleum that holds the forgotten entrance into Nurians Hollow. An open grave is to your left. You make your way towards the door to the crypt, hoping to find the entrance into the caves you're told about. Move characters to the exit zone and complete map skill check number 2 in order to continue the story by skipping to chapter 2 on page 8. So we've got a few options of what we can do on here. The main thing we have to do is unlock the mausoleum, which is through here, which is a trickery of 7 to get in there. Now, we do have a respected exorcist here who has a trickery +1, so he's probably going to be the guy who's unlocking that. We've also got these 2 search locations here, these graves, and of course, the aforementioned open grave. Now, I've got the initiative tracker set up on the right in case we do go into combat because there's no enemies on here. However, your skin crawls as you feel tension stirring in the air. The dead are restless today. At the end of every round on this map, the leader must roll a d10. And we want to get a 4 to 10. The characters have a -1 stride on this, so our stride is reduced by 1. And it's worth noting because the Aspergillum was broken, the Butcher is handing the hand cannon over to the Exorcist. So the Exorcist has got a stride of 3. He's going to head up there. 1, 2, 3. We are going to get our Slayer to also head up that way. She's got a stride of 5, so it's 4. 1, 2, 3. She's going to go over here and she's going to try and search there. She got an 8. So she finds an item and we have to roll the dice to see what we find. So something from 3. So something from the raw materials deck. So shuffle this up. So the Slayer manages to find a fur pelt. So we can sell this, we can use this for this particular ability, or we can combine this with something else to build items when we find recipes. And then our Butcher is going to check out this grave because, I mean, there's an open grave. Who's not going to check this out? So it is an awareness of 6. Do you notice anything unusual about the graves? 7. He does. Inside you see a half-desiccated corpse whose stomach has been removed and viciously chewed upon. There is a glint of something within the gore. You reach inside, trying not to vomit in disgust. Your hand touches something round and hard. Pulling it carefully out, you discover a pearl ring. Through dry blood, you can see a delicate scrollwork pattern with a detailed filigree. You feel a compulsion to put it on your finger. You cannot resist. gain the red story marker. So the butcher has the red story marker. Okay, and now our leader, who is the butcher, now has to roll the dice to see if we have anything to worry about. 7, nothing happens. So we're not quite up there yet. And we're going to search over here with the Slayer. She gets an 8, so she finds an item. And that item is another raw material. So, shuffle the raw material deck again. And we find some Wolfsbane. Used to force a werewolf to revert to a Night Stalker. No effect on afflictions. That might come in handy. And our butcher is going to join in. He's moved up there. We roll a dice. 10. Nothing happens. Okay, so we're all going to try trickery now. So our exorcist is over there. He's doing a trickery. It's a trickery of 7. He needs a 6 or more. 5. You were unable to unlock the door. Sorry, you hurt your hand while attempting to unlock it. Lose 2 vita. So he's down to 19 hit points now. The Slayer's going to have a go. She needs a 7 or more. She gets a 1, so she loses 2 vita. She's down to 13. And at this point, she is going to spend her bandage to recover 4 vita. Butcher comes up. Oh, another 10, so we don't have any events happen here. We're then going to do a trickery again with the with our exorcist. 6 or more. He got a 6, yay! So we succeed. You are unable to lock the door. Remove it from the map. And everybody exits. So that is the end of story part 1. I'm on the edge of my seat here, literally on the edge of my seat, because I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. So we've gone to Nurians Hollow, trying to find a location as priest. There are apparently wolves which are shifting into well, I imagine werewolves. And we also have the great kind of bonus of having some Wolfsbane. So if you do come across a werewolf, we might be able to change them back to whatever they were supposed to be in the first place, a Night Stalker. After having played this game before, I do know we are going to encounter some Night Stalkers in the next area. Spoilers. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this, and please let me know in the comments below, because I love talking to you guys. If there's anything I've done wrong, which there is a high chance I have played some of this wrong, then also leave comments below and I will add a mistakes were made section for this video so that anyone playing this can look back and go, oh, actually, was that right? Was that wrong? And they can go, no, that was wrong, or that was right. So hopefully that clarifies things. One quick shout out, thank you to the Folklore The Affliction board game community for giving me some feedback on my initial questions with this game. And also the market, the whole market kind of deck has been changed completely. I'll put a link below, probably if I remember, to that particular file. So if you are playing this and you want to play with the advanced market item rule set, then you can just follow that board game geek link and you can download it yourself and play it. This is a really fun game. I'm really enjoying this. I hope you're enjoying this too, and I hope you join me for chapter 2 of story 1, Everything Changes. Until next time, guys, I've been the ever excitable Adam. You stay safe and keep rolling.